Hello, my name's Suzanne Hodgson. I'm a furniture designer maker, but I also make games. My workshop's in Chester, in Cheshire. Today I'm going to show you how I make a chessboard. The one I have here is one that I borrowed from a client. It's made from wengi and holly and has got ebony detailing, ebony stringing. I make all my chessboards out of veneers, 0.6 veneers. If you make them out of timber, the shrinkage differential between the timbers might be different, and then you can get splitting and cracking. So I use 0.6. This piece is a pack of ebony veneer, and it's got a definite stripe going through. So when I'm cutting out my lengths, I make sure that the squares make the detailing run straight through, so that your eye is just drawn up the line. So I start off with an oversized length, just roughly cut. Then I use just a very simple jig, which is oversized. I then cut this piece oversized, and I've got a planing jig, which will get it to the exact size. So this goes here in your vise, and then you just plane both sides. And then you've got that to an accurate width, that strip. So then with the strips, you need to get them to length. So again, another very simple jig, mark it across. You can either use a scalpel, or if the veneer isn't that brittle, you can cut it with some scissors. And you've then got a series of squares, but make sure you keep the squares in a sequential pattern, so that when you're laying it out, so you're putting them like that, the pattern is running up, and then this one will go that way. And then you've got the whole run. You'll lay out the whole board, and then you'll have the pieces side by side. So you'll then join these together with some tape, and I always edge glue them. So you've got that, and then with a pot of glue and a small brush, you just put some glue across, clean it off, and then you do the whole row like that. So you've got a row taped up like this, and then you'll have that will go there, running up. You then need to get this to the correct width. So again, this strip goes back into the planing jig, and you plane it both sides. Then you can join them together. So make sure really accurately that you've got those lines joining up. You then need to make a border to the side. So I've just pre-cut these. This is a 45-degree mitre, and so that will go round the edge of your board. You just glue it up with all together, so you've got this mitered edge all the way around. Put it in the press. You need to balance every time you press. Put a veneer on one side, you need to balance it on the other. So this one's just got a balancing veneer that's very plain on that side. Once it's out of the press, you need to put it, or I put a detail bit of stringing in around the edge, which just neatens it up. You can buy the stringing pre-made, and you just route it in, and again with a mitered corner on it like that. It's then sanded all over. Before you sand it, I put a chamfer on my edges. I just like that detail on it. You need to glue the edge onto the side. So that can just be done with cramps along the side, both sides. When you put the glue on the chamfered bit, I tend to put it in the vise, because it's really, you can't glue that very well, and just with a glue that is heat sensitive then that little strip gets ironed on that edge. And then you sand the whole thing. Depending on how open grained, you might need to be careful that all the dust is out. And then I spray my board. Sometimes I oil them, but mostly I spray them. I don't like a finish that's just a gloss finish. I actually like to see the grain, so it's quite a light coat that I put on so that you can see that it's wood and it's not just a piece of plastic. On the underside, I always put a detail, either a strip going all the way around or pads of leather, so that it's then protecting the table or the surface that the board is resting on. And that's how I make a chessboard. Thank you.